Hello, amazing podcast listeners. I hope all of you are doing well. I hope everything is going amazing in your life. I know in the last podcast, I discussed that I was going to be checking in with you guys every Monday, Thursday. Doing that over the holidays probably wasn't the best move. A lot of moving pieces have been going on. I'm going to do my best moving forward to do that, such that checking in with you guys Monday and Thursday. With that being said, January 2nd, next week, I will actually be going to India for a month. So maybe it's just going to be another month until I can get back to the consistency. But we'll see. That could also be an excuse. I will do my best to upload every Monday and Thursday moving forward. Something that I do want to talk to you guys about in this episode, in this transmission, is something that I discussed in my very first press conference about 2-ish weeks ago. In that press conference, I talked about our importance as a country, as not only a country, but as a world, to end the nonsensical violence that is occurring in the Middle East. I pointed out about how the Houthi rebels, are sinking ships, attacking Israeli ships that are carrying oil, how this is going to cause a financial collapse within America if something is not done to stop this. And yet, what I have seen in the news has finally picked up on this in the last couple of days, and even more so. It seems to me that this has triggered a hotbed of what appears to me to be Muslim versus the West. The fact that we're funding Israel seems to me cultivating this atmosphere that we're on the side of Israel, obviously. And so the Muslim nations, which includes Yemen, includes Iran, Iraq, includes Palestine, have seen this as a war on their religious beliefs. And from what I am seeing, this is because of things like the attack on the U.S. military personnel, and I heard even more people warmongering on the mainstream media, talking about how, if they attack one American soldier, then we need to go and completely wipe them out. And yes, we do need to defend our own people, but the problem is that we're causing problems in foreign countries and expecting, peace to come of it. It's almost as if the leaders in our country have not heard an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. It's really quite amazing. And I say that in an unfortunate, in a neutral way. It's quite astounding. It's a mixture of the two, I suppose, of seeing all of this unfold. And it appears, at the very least, that war is their prerogative. I'm sure you know how the military-industrial complex works. If you don't, here's a quick breakdown. War is either randomly started or created, manufactured, between two countries. We saw Ukraine and Russia, which was one of them. The next one was Israel-Hamas, Israel-Palestine. And now America picks a side, funds that side, and gives money to that country. Well, what you don't know is that that country then takes that money and spends it on military contractors, U.S. military contractors, to create weapons. Look at the weapons that are being created. They'll be of names like Lockheed and Raytheon. And once those weapons are manufactured, those countries pay for it. And then what happens is the U.S. military contractors then are lobbyists for politicians. Have you ever noticed how heads of Raytheon, heads of Lockheed end up getting put in U.S. cabinet positions of power? This is exactly why. They want to fund the stock. They want to take your money, the taxpayer dollar, the people, your money, my money. They want to basically line their own pockets by creating war, which kills innocent people. This has gone on for far too long. Far too long. And a huge reason that this is going on is because of one simple thing. It's so simple that it blows my mind that no one else is really even talking about this. And here's the thing. I don't want to leave you guys in this doom and gloom state because it's not conducive. Fear, shame, guilt. We're not going to create the new earth. We're not going to create new heaven. We're not going to create peace and bliss. We're not going to create a state of without suffering if we keep focusing on these negatives. So not only proposing the problems, but this campaign, my campaign, your vote for me if you live within the 12th district, is for the solutions. And in terms of war, a huge solution is holding people responsible. The people who are giving the orders that end up with the killing of innocent people. Because that's how you create more people who are devoted to the cause. You kill innocent people. I was just watching last week, I believe it was Iron Man 3, when you get introduced to Wanda, or was it one of the Avengers? Age of Ultron. Yeah. Age of Ultron, where you're introduced to the antagonists, well, two of the antagonists, who were fueled with their rage to kill Tony Stark because Tony Stark had created bombs and missiles that ended up killing their parents. And it set them on a course to do anything in their power to kill Tony Stark. Through this entire thing, it unleashed a massive amount of devastation. Just that one burning, negative, terrible desire. And the problem is that we are cultivating that in the Middle East as we speak. Because our politicians would like to take your taxpayer money, give it to foreign countries so they can give it to U.S. contractors, so that U.S. contractors can then lobby and pay for high-ranking positions within the federal government, so that then we can keep this endless cycle going. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. They've had their time in the sun, and it's coming to an end. The day of reckoning, the day of peace, the day of, quite frankly, judgment, if you will. And I don't say that in a way of judging them, because in a way they are... In a way, I see it that they don't know any better. In a way, they see a shiny object and think that that's the best thing that they can grab and put in their mouth, and that it's going to get them everlasting satisfaction. So I pity them. I feel bad for them in some ways, some sense. When the fact of the matter is they don't know how good it can feel to bring about peace. To realize that money is not going to bring them everlasting joy and happiness. To realize that they could find everything that they're seeking through peaceful means. And then issues come in where it seems like the system is not set up to cultivate that. Or they've been fed a lie and are keep buying into it. Or once they bought into it, they're not able to get out of it. You know what they say, when you make a deal with the devil, you always lose. So it's time for us to make a deal with nature. Make a deal with innocent people. Make a deal that has within it the foundation of desire to create freedom and prosperity for all. Because as I watch these pundits, these experts, that was a hard word to say in that context, these people speaking on this, in their heart, in their voice, in their words, is not love and peace and prosperity. It's anger and hatred and fear. The time for that type of leadership is over. We've dealt with that for the last easily 100, 200 years, but one may argue thousands. Obviously, within America, it's probably been about 150-ish years. It goes in and out, of course, but the time's done. We're done with this. It's over. This is why we must vote for the American Congress Party. This is why, if you're hearing this and it feels resonant to you, see what you can do. Maybe the littlest thing you can do is share this podcast with someone, and that's great. Maybe if you live in the 12th district, it's voting for me. Maybe it's you reaching out and seeing how you can contribute. Maybe this inspires you to join the party, to create a new earth movement within your district, within your area. And you don't have to go for the House of Representatives. You're welcome to go higher or lower as you see fit. All positions are needed. But a great time, a great day, a great future of prosperity and abundance for all is ahead of us. And so I would like to sign off on this message on that note, to stay focused on that. Stay focused on peace and prosperity for all. Stay focused on the world that you want to create. In a world that has been filled with so much messaging, so many programs, mental programs, that want you to believe that it's all done for, nature's over, the world's coming to an end. It takes a brave soul to want to view the world and realize that there's so much hope and beauty left to be saved. You can do it. It just comes down to a choice. You know, it's interesting. I went to a memorial, a celebration of life service today. One of my high school friends, his mother passed away, and so we went to a celebration of life, and the pastor, he was a pastor, who was talking, he started talking about the new earth and new heaven. And he was going on a little bit longer than he needed to, but he said those at the end of his speech, and it caught my attention. And it was very interesting, because something within it sparked me to start looking into it more. And through, if you're not aware, the Book of Thomas translations I wrote, I started looking through some of those in regards to the new earth and the new heaven. And something that in the Book of Thomas that Jesus said, I forget which quote it was, but he said that it's here now. That it's not in the future. It's not 15, 20 years, as I've been telling people, away. It's right here, right now. And that took me a second to think about. How can that be? How can it be that with all these terrible things as I just discussed and put forth, how can it be that the new earth and new world are here right now? There's an ancient story, a fable, if you will. A shaman who sits atop a hill, and this hill overlooks the city below. And also, that goes right beside this house of this shaman is a road. And this road is the only way in or out of the city. And so a man comes walking by, and he asks the shaman, "Hey, what's that city like down there?" And the shaman says, "Well, tell me about the city you just came from." And he says, "Oh, there's all beggars and robbers and thieves in that city." And the shaman said, "Well, in that city that you're about to walk to, there are also a bunch of beggars, robbers, and thieves." And so startled, the guy was like, oh, okay, well, don't want that. So he walked away. A few hours later, a lady walked up to him and said, hey, I'm coming from a town over. Who all lives in that city down there? And the shaman said, well, tell me about the city that you come from. And she said, well, it's the most generous and kind people in the world. They're all so beautiful. They're all amazing. They all want to help each other. And the shaman said, oh, well, that city over there that you're about to go to, it has all of those same people. It has those people that want to help and give and be generous. And ecstatic with joy, the lady went and entered the city. What this means is that we find and seek out that which we look for, consciously or unconsciously. It's the same city that we move to. And I've noticed this in my life as well. Because I've lived in Pittsburgh, I've lived in Orlando, I've lived in San Diego, I've lived in Brazil. And it seemed like the novelty of these cities would start to wear off, and then the same patterns would come up in my life. And it was exactly embedded in this story of the shaman sitting on the hill with the city. Is that it doesn't matter where your physical location is in this world, you're still going to find that which you seek. So when you look in the book of Revelations and it talks about the new world and the new earth, when you hear Dolores Cannon talking about the new earth, it's here right now. The only thing that you need to do is to choose to want to see it, and then just look for it everywhere you go. So where is it that you want to look? Where is it that you are still attached to programming of hate or fear or judgment? Because releasing this is what will truly set you free.